This is Hilda. Hilda's a full-fledged member of a mountain rescue team. A team so good that if you're ever lost in the wilderness, you couldn't do better than to have Sierra Madre Search and Rescue looking for you. The Sierra Madre team is made up of unpaid volunteers, experts at tracking, mountain climbing, and wilderness survival, who leave their families and jobs to go anywhere on a call for help. But even this crack team may not be able to find a small boy lost in some of the most rugged terrain in this country.
Billy! Billy!
Billy, if you're close, raise your arms and your t-shirt.
Rescue. The search for Billy.
Just the litter, rope, and where's the flax? How many people altogether? 8 people. Climb up in there.
Sunday morning, the Sierra Madre Search and Rescue team is on a training mission, flying by helicopter toward the mountains that nearly surround Los Angeles. Nowhere else in the United States do so many, 7 million people in Los Angeles County, live so close to such a vast wilderness of mountains and desert. Getting away from it all in just a couple of hours' drive attracts a great many people who occasionally get into trouble. California has 12 unpaid mountain rescue teams, but the call for help goes most often to the men from Sierra Madre.
As soon as we get up there, we'll anchor you off, and you go over to the side, get a first aid pack on, and get over there and see what his injuries are, and then we can psych out what we're going to do.
Waiting for the arrival of the team is the operations leader for today's practice session, Minor Harkness. Harkness makes his living as an insurance broker, but his life is the mountains and mountain rescue. The command post is a mile away from Williamson Rock, a 600-foot wall of granite in the northwest corner of Los Angeles County. Moving into position on the rock face are 3 members of the Sierra Madre team. They make up the climbing party, and one will play the role of seriously injured victim.
On the bottom now, Minor, I'd say we have roughly maybe a rope and a half to 2 ropes to climb yet.
4:05, let's bring that crew into the top of this rock.
The helicopter is a vital tool in rescue work, and near their home ground, Sierra Madre has free use of ships from the Los Angeles County Fire Department. But often they operate far from home, and then the team pays the helicopter rental of $150 an hour. This year, the team's fundraising drive produced just under $11,000.
Kick your smoke flare so we can see where the injured party is located.
The team has learned techniques and developed sophisticated equipment for dealing with the problems of search and rescue in the wilderness. But it took time.
We kind of built the team the hard way, you know. Every rescue we learned what we lacked in the way of equipment and training and everything, and the guys are dedicated and determined to build one of the finest rescue teams in the country, which I think they have done.
Who's going down with the litter?
Phil Wessler's hooked in now, it's all rigged, and he's hooking in now. We're retrieving our line, and about ready to go.
Leon, climbing! Climb!
405 base, 405 base.
I got you, sir.
The litter is now over the side, over.
That's 10-4. I can read them off and on, so I got that 10-4. Look. I'll guide him as he's going on down.
Lowering a man with a Stokes litter down several hundred feet of sheer-faced mountain requires time and experts. Bill Lester is on a rappel line that's controlled by the belay man on top of the rock. The rope holding the litter runs through a 3-point anchor system that's been hammered into the rock surface. Only 1 anchor point is needed to hold the weight of an injured person, but 2 more are added for safety.
This is 402. I'm in visual contact with the victims over here.
We're good. Very smooth, 405. Very smooth.
405, if you can stay out the lowering line a little faster.
All right, Larry.
The Sierra Madre team responds to calls for help in the western United States and on into Mexico. 1,100 operations with 1,400 people in trouble create a tradition that John Holcomb feels very strongly about.
The proud feeling you have of belonging to the Sierra Madre team, esprit de corps the team has, makes everybody really aware of when they come on the team. It's they're proud to belong to this team, and they work hard at belonging to it. We don't hold anybody's hand. We don't send them outside of the team for training. We train them and teach them all the things that we want them to do, but we make them do it themselves. I tell a guy when I talk to him, and this is one of my jobs on the team, that you're going to be on that rock rappelling and learning to the technical aspects of climbing and everything.
Slack 1 foot. Slack 1 foot.
On the hauling line?
Slack both lines 1 foot.
On any victim evacuation, one of the major problems you have is keeping your lines identified and straight.
Everybody on the team is a potential good leader. And this is another reason why the team is so good, is because we come from all walks of life, and everybody has the ability to use their God-given sense, and they do. They're just man's man, you know. They do what they have to do. And that's what makes it all worthwhile.
Well, I congratulate you all. It was a good job. Very good. We got out only 3 hours later than I thought we would.
We have fun whatever we do. I think it's the hometown spirit that makes Sierra Madre the team that it is, because we're a close knit, and we're a small town. Here in Sierra Madre, well, you know everybody. Every store you go in, they're friendly, and I like that. Well, everybody on this team likes that.
The team's strongest bond is love of the outdoors. For Miner Harkness, it was a love that started early.
Sierra Madre was isolated. And on every side there was, nothing but open country. And down toward the valley we used to fly our model airplanes. Before I was 14 years old, I killed 5 bucks out in Hastings Ranch. And Hastings Ranch has 2,000 homes now. I saw my first mountain lion out there. But Sierra Madre, the one thing it has is where the mountains begin and go up. There's no change there. They'll never build there.
The San Gabriel Mountains that form Sierra Madre's backyard gave birth to the team. 40 years ago, the 4 Lalone brothers trapped and hunted the mountains for a living. Whenever a hiker or a hunter was reported overdue, the Lalones were called on for help. As the Los Angeles population boomed, so did accidents in these mountains. In 1953, the Lalone brothers became the nucleus of the Sierra Madre team that now numbers 25 members. Today, the San Gabriels still serve as a refuge and as a source of many of the team's rescue operations. They also serve as a very special kind of training ground.
Now we're going down into clamshell and then up. We'll cut out of the clamshell. It's so neat to go out in a canyon.
Okay.
And just go up, and it's all night. No one's been there, And you get into meadows, and this is the thing. Philip, you look like you're about as ready for the mountains as... But there's certain ground rules that you have to lay, You just don't go out into the wilderness and say, man, I can survive, I'm the greatest. If you learn things and are willing to study and practice them, then you can really face the wilderness and say, I can survive. And you damn well know they do it. Come on, let's get going.
The men of the search and rescue team are unpaid volunteers. Salesmen, mechanics, executives, computer programmers. Doug Templin, an insurance investigator, has been on the team 3 years.
Yeah. When I first came to that meeting, I'll never forget it. Lorenzini was sitting there. He was president then. I kept asking Lorenzini after the meeting was over, hey, how much time is this going to take? I was really pretty worried about it. I said, don't worry about it. And just turned around and started talking to someone else. Hey, how much time is this going to take, Ray? Oh, don't worry about it. That doesn't take much time at all. I walked home that night and I had an ice axe and a Kelty pack and all my equipment. Nobody told me how much time it was going to take. Well.
How much time?
It took about 2 weeks to find that out.
For men with families and jobs, the team demands on personal time seem especially great.
Last year, we logged almost 15,000 man-hours. Wait a minute, no, it was more than that. It was more than that. It was almost 20,000 man-hours. With, say, 25 guys, you're talking well over 1,000 man-hours a year, which is, what, roughly 100 hours a month. 25 hours a week on the average. That's one hell of a lot of time. It's 3 hours a day.
The time is spent mostly on the unglamorous details that are the lifeblood of a good mountain rescue team. This Saturday, Dee Alcorn and John Holcomb checked the medical supplies.
What we're trying to do is make complete as a hospital as you can, so that you go in the backcountry or you've got something there. Even when you just treat one person, many times he has multiple injuries. Like that guy up there last year on North Valley, he had 12 broken ribs. He had urinated for 2 days. Both shoulders were broken. Both clavicles were broken. Geez, and he's got abrasions all over his body. When you've got that situation, you'll use up everything you've got here on a guy to get him bandaged up and ready to take out.
In the mountains, a man's life often depends on the man working next to him. So each new member must undergo 1 year of intensive training and testing.
Got to qualify in ice and snow climbing, ice and snow rescue, rope, hard rock climbing, first aid, desert and winter survival.
Victim evacuation.
Just plain rescue techniques takes up a heck of a lot of it.
Today, team president Ray Lorenzini checks on the final tests of Bill Udell.
There you go.
Up play.
Way off.
Okay, where's that beer you promised?
Beer? Oh, okay. We threw it down here. Didn't you catch it?
It's a long way down there.
It's even longer coming up.
That's the most boring part of the whole thing is standing there.
Down in the basement of City Hall, Dr. Richard Alley gives a lecture in the team's meeting room on handling a victim with a broken neck.
One man should hold the head in a neutral or slightly extended position with slight traction. In other words, one guy should take the head and exert slight traction on it, holding the chin basically up. The other 2 or 3 actually do the lifting.
Okay, ready on the count of 3. Everybody in position. 1, 2, 3. Okay, hold, move the litter in. Ready down, go. Yep, wait a minute, we're just screwing up that. Okay, up to the head now. We're going to give him a laceration in a minute. Oh, there goes his head, he's flexing, the litter's too short.
He just died.
No, you have to give a little less.
This side.
Yeah, that's bad.
This side. Just give a little slack in the hip.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, he just died on you.
He sure did.
Over at Henniger Flats, Doug Templin is getting his bloodhound, Hilda, ready for the next step in her training. Bloodhounds had never been used by mountain rescue teams until one day Minor Harkness got to thinking about it.
I'd always heard about bloodhounds and everything, so I did some research and talked to people and trying to figure out if there was a possibility we could incorporate them in our work, because we knew that the type of terrain we were going over is rough and everything. And so after about a year of fiddling around it, we decided to go ahead and get a bloodhound, give it a go. It looked like it might work.
Go track and heel. She's doing real well. I'm really getting enthusiastic about her. I usually go, it's usually a short one during the middle of the week, and on the weekends we usually run her a 2 or 3 mile trail. But you just have to work up. She started training her, and it was a 5-minute trail, or maybe even none at all. She actually watched the people taking off as we first began training her. And then you increase the distance in distances in small increments, and just keep on with the distance until you get 2 or 3 miles in length, and then you begin going on the time aspect of it.
Hilda is needed in a search area in a hurry. She usually rides in a capsule attached to the helicopter. But occasionally the terrain is too rough for a landing, so today she gets her first practice flight in a helicopter sling. Doug Templin has written a song about his bloodhound.
We'll go trekking through the sky as the days and nights go by. Up and down the clouds we go, tracking angels to and fro. It scares you half to death, like a mother having a baby. Trekking? Huh? We're gonna go, girl. Come on. Go trekking. Yeah, that was kind of a tough one.
Hilda starts tracking by first smelling an article of clothing worn by the victim.
Find him! Let's go find him! Let's go find him, Hill. Come on! Let's find him! Let's go find him! Come on, girl, come on!
A person has a scent, and there's not really too much known about it. It's kind of a mist that as they walk, it drifts off and lands along the ground. It's not necessarily where that individual's walk. So we have two types of scent. One is the trail scent. That's made by changing or disturbing the earth. And dogs can be trained to track that, but we break away from that because anybody that goes through this area makes that same type of scent, see? So we have to track the one that was lost. So we go after the human scent, which everyone is different. The scent is blowing, so it may drift off. Sometimes in high winds, 25 feet is not uncommon. That damn dog is going up and down through those bushes, dragging you. And doggone good and well, that's the way the kid went, but you got to stay with that dog. You can't yank him back, so he's got to work out that problem himself. So a lot of times a beautiful trail, and there you are 10 feet over, breaking the brush with the animal.
Dog training, technical training, it all takes time. Time away from families. And the team can just about bet on getting a call for help on any major holiday. 7 Christmases, for example. As nobody knows better than Miner Harkness's wife, Sarah.
And a lot of times it's kind of a drag to have to leave on Christmas or, New Year's Day when you've got a gang of people coming up to watch the Rose Bowl game or something like this planned and they have to go. But like Miner says, when somebody needs you, when somebody's hurt up there in the mountains, they just can't wait for a dinner to be over or something like this. And gosh, when you think it could be your own child, and time is of the essence. It really, I am really proud of them, and I think it's great.
Early evening on Friday or Sunday. That's the time when the team gets most of its calls. Usually a hiker trying to shortcut the Mount Wilson Trail before the light fades. But this is Saturday night, and it's quiet, except for the team party Miner and Sarah are giving.
Okay, here we go. Someone's in the kitchen.
Another Saturday, a different kind of Saturday. The Sierra Madre team travels hundreds of miles to answer calls for help. This time, deep in Mexico, where Ray Lorenzini is heading up the search for a young pilot. 10 days ago, The pilot started out on a flight from San Diego to El Centro, California, a small town near the Mexican border.
He was on his first solo cross country, and all indications, talking to his instructor and everything, is he probably was blown off course and just ended up down this area. We found the airplane, and he wasn't hardly any gas left in it at all. And to our best of our knowledge, there was no survival gear whatsoever in the aircraft. He did have an aeronautical map with him. That was about the extent of it. He left a note at the airplane and said, "I plan to go back to the coast and follow it northward." Now, it's our understanding you can't get too far on the coastline because of the steep bluffs, and at high tide, you just can't get through there. So we've picked up prints off the coast, coming back towards the mesa. And we've got him coming off the mesa and going back onto it. Looks like he's making a big circle. And that's what we're concentrating our search effort at this time, is on the mesa. We've got 11 guys on our team down here. There's approximately 55 men out in the field right now.
Base camp is 250 miles south of the border and 400 miles from Sierra Madre. The team has half a dozen operations a year in Mexico. Often enough that 2 years ago, a special treaty was made between the United States and Mexico, permitting mountain rescue teams from both countries to cross the border quickly. The vast Santa Clara Mesa has been worked over by 50 searchers and a dozen aircraft, including the U.S. Coast Guard.
This is a typical helicopter operation down here. It's a rugged country over there.
The rugged country demands a helicopter. If the trackers find a footprint, then searchers can be quickly carried 2 or 3 miles ahead to look for further prints. Jump tracking can cover in a day what requires several days on foot, and time is running out for the young pilot, who could not have understood the problems of surviving in this wasteland, or he would have stayed with his airplane and its working radio. Sunday morning. The pilot has been missing 11 days, and that fact forces Ray Lorenzini to seek information.
Okay, if he is dead, what do you do, Bob?
Leave the body out there or bring him down here, if that were to come about.
It has to be left right where it is, marked, nothing touched. The delegado will go up and make the report, and then you can move the body. Otherwise, you can't touch it, if it does come to this.
11 o'clock Sunday morning. Out on the mesa, it does come to this. Mexican horsemen searching along the eroded slopes that form the mesa's northwest wall have found the pilot's body, where he had apparently lost his footing and fallen. The Coast Guard helicopter has flown a Mexican official to the scene 20 miles from base camp to examine the body. The young pilot seems to have died nearly a week ago.
What are the directions to the rescue scene? 10-4?
Sunday afternoon. And up till now, it's been just another quiet Sunday.
Okay. Shh. Okay. About 3:45, 4 o'clock. Thank you, Lieutenant. Good day, and we'll see you there. Bye-bye. Roll 'em.
Where is it at? I need some maps on it.
Just a second. Hold on, Pete.
Think you're gonna call up Tina?
Mm-hmm.
Good boy. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay. Got a 13-year-old boy, Bob Sternberg, member of the Boy Scout troop out of Panorama City, who's been missing since yesterday afternoon in the Stucco Park area of Ventura County.
The Stucco Park area of Ventura County borders Los Padres National Forest. The nearest city is Santa Paula, an hour's drive from the Sternberg boys' home near Los Angeles, and nearly 2 hours from Sierra Madre.
I'll do it right now, because the max
Someone give me
opportunity
an
for...
assignment so I know what I'm going to do?
You're gonna fly a dog.
Well, how are we gonna do that? Let's do it, or...
Which dog and it's not been used and ready to go?
Templin ran his dog today. Okay, you got yours here, Ray?
Yeah.
Okay, ready to go?
Yeah,
You got
I'm
clothing?
ready to go.
Okay.
Ray will handle the dog. Get the scent guide, and you'll stay right in Ray's crew. Take a radio with you. Take 401.
That aircraft gotta get checked.
Let's go. What do you got? Go!
Billy Sternberg was on his first Boy Scout camping trip Yesterday, Billy was playing with other scouts by a waterfall near their campsite. A scout leader snapped a picture of the group. And then the boys started walking along the trail to their camp at Big Cone. Billy Sternberg never arrived at Big Cone. An operations base camp to direct the search has been set up by the Ventura County Sheriff's Office. Base camp is an hour's hike from the waterfalls where Billy was last seen, and 30 volunteers have been searching that area since yesterday afternoon. The team has received corrected information about the Sternberg boy's name and description.
Billy Sternberg, age 11, missing since yesterday at 3:20. Height 5 foot, weight 85 pounds, blue eyes, blonde hair. Pants, Boy Scout pants. T-shirt, white, but it's been washed and laundered with something red, so it has a pink cast to it. Thick glasses, shoes, tennis shoes.
His father's up here, by the way. You might run across him.
Which one, Earl? What's your number? If you do run across them and pick up some more information, call out for us.
Hey, you want us to stay out all night, right? Yeah. Work all
Let's
night.
work all night on this.
Okay, and we'll get ready aside.
Oh, yeah.
3 hours after being asked to help, 12 men from the Sierra Madre team joined the search for Billy Sternberg, who's been missing now for 27 hours. 1 o'clock in the morning. Billy's father, unable to go any further up the hazardous canyons of the Santa Paula, hears of the first important clue at the Sierra Madre radio truck.
About 3 crews out. One crew's found a tennis shoe, so we're going to concentrate and pull all the crews back up into that area, which looks like the area where the hottest area we got going right now. The tennis shoe is same type, same size the boy was wearing. An hour and a half up canyon from where he was last seen.
Monday morning, Billy has been missing nearly 36 hours. Today, 50 searchers will be combing an area almost 5 hours from base camp over terrain so rough even the team's bloodhounds can't be used. Billy's father is forced to remain in camp, watching others work to find his son.
Well, you're always working on a chance maybe you didn't see it, that's all.
Mr. Sternberg has made positive identification of the old tennis shoe found last night, convincing the searchers they are on the right track.
Now he's sort of up on the top of a ridge and it's going to level out. And it's brushy up there. That's a bad thing too. There's this brush and it's like this, and it's essentially no way to negotiate it. You kind of crawl through it more than anything. Pick where the game have crawled through themselves. And that's going to be a tough search in there. If he's gotten out into those brush fields, why, they go on and on forever.
The prime search area is too difficult for Mr. Sternberg to reach on foot, but he decides that he must go at least as far as Big Cone, where Billy had planned to camp out Saturday night. Big Cone is opposite the waterfall where Billy was last seen. But the footprints and the old tennis shoe found last night by the Sierra Madre team forces the searchers to concentrate their efforts east of the waterfall, where the trail soon disappears. And there's only a wild confusion of boulders, canyons, and vast fields of high brush. An effective search needs quick transportation, and a helicopter can't land in the high brush. So Minor Harkness and 3 of the Sierra Madre team have hacked out a heliport, a landing zone for the helicopters from the Los Angeles County Fire Department. Now Roland Barton can fly crews into the prime search area in 7 minutes.
Everybody up here by 5 o'clock that's going home. We're gonna ride out. You got your radio. You can start talking to the guys. Everybody get them that's working around here. Start working their search patterns so they can be working back towards this way. I'll pick everybody up to the slope towards 5 o'clock. All right.
Looks good. I'm convinced that kid's in this canyon floor down there. They picked up another bare footprint right over here. It's round, obviously in a sock.
Well, I think what we really ought to do is make a giant sweep from that waterfalls back there, right straight down this canyon, almost hand to hand, looking under every bush and every tree.
Monday evening, Mr. Sternberg told Doug Templin today that he thought Billy had been wearing new tennis shoes. The shoe found last night was an old one.
That is far from a new shoe. He said it was an old shoe, and then when we were up there, he said, you know, it's amazing how these mountains can tear up a pair of shoes. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, those were brand new. That's not a new shoe.
Tuesday morning, Billy has been missing for 60 hours. Last night, the temperature dropped below 40 degrees. The 20-mile-an-hour winds brought it closer to freezing.
What other is that scout group in here?
The scout groups are in, and they're as far as I know, they're lining across the wash bottom and going up and down. Yeah. Okay, so we need somebody to run a relay.
The key is to have a well-organized base camp, because if you don't keep track of what's going on and what is covered and what is not covered, you're going to duplicate things, and when you duplicate things, you're wasting time. Time is of the essence. So you've got to bring in good, experienced search and rescue people, personnel, good, experienced pilots.
I'm going to go up here and cut up and try and cut this area here like that and sweep around. They're going to have a little rough go in there, but anyway, this should be checked pretty fast. Okay.
Has there been anything more on that shoe at all, or is that out?
This morning, the dad said it was the right one. Yeah, this morning, no, that's it. No.
All right.
Is mine.
Why don't we take Lynn Kroll and Roop and Daly and take them in that heliport that we cut and have them go to the falls and really work that area down. Where's Roop? Sure.
Hey, Mudder, will that be a walker or should we take some ropes?
No, you won't need any ropes.
Yes, you will. If you're going in the falls area, take one coil of rope with you, okay?
As the big crew-carrying helicopter returns to base camp, Billy's father learns of the landing zone in the prime search area.
The helicopter is set down where we can get out of it, or do they have to jump out of it, or what? No, they've cut a helispot right here. Right here, they've cleared away the brush to make it facilitate the dropping in of guys. So
is there any reason why I can't go up with them?
It's up on the side. It's not in the bottom. Well, it's quite a hike into the bottom. But it's up on the side. It's back up 400 or 500 foot in altitude above the bottom of the canyon, but it's right up adjacent to this area. It's right up about like that. But I think you'd probably be inviting an injury by doing it.
I'd say the majority of the parents, after the search is initiated, things start calming down a bit, always want to get out in the backcountry and start searching, and you really can't blame them. I know I would. But it's a bad situation because I think the most important factor is that you want them available when the boy is found. But it's tough. God, I'd hate to sit there and sweat it.
On the hillside below the heliport, the hand-to-hand search of the East Fork begins.
Drop right down and hit around that corner there. That's about where you'll get.
Okay, good, thanks.
If you guys get any trouble, just give us a yell, because we'll be all right. Okay. And that's what you plan on doing, coming back and taking the chopper out. Toward you. Good guy.
Billy! Billy!
Billy, if you can see us or hear us, go into a clearing and wave your arms and your t-shirt. Billy, if you can see us or hear us, go into a clearing and wave your arms and your t-shirt.
Billy! Billy!
Well, here he's heading north, but the other footprint indicates he's made a turn. heading back downstream.
So he must have seen some kind of impasse down there or something. I wonder why he would turn around.
I don't know. He's probably in his state of mind. This is probably the best visible shoe print we've had.
Now look at, we went all the way up to the ridge up there, covered all the way to that backside, but I mean, you can imagine how sensitive your feet are in this kind of stuff, and you get back in there, and there's briar. Isn't that right?
I went up into the oak trees, and you know,
geez.
you're not going to hike far in that.
Not barefoot.
Not barefoot.
What's the puzzling thing is that you saw one bare footprint in the sand, and then you see no more.
Mr. Sternberg and his brother David have learned of new clues found by searchers from the U.S. Forestry Service.
Found some footprints down there. Found a sock.
Very good.
Finding the sock near the tennis shoe's location convinces Mr. Sternberg that the tennis shoe is Billy's.
In 2 days, he could have gone quite a ways, huh?
Not without a shoe.
No, I don't know.
Sore foot, you know, look at this stuff. Unless your feet are tough, in his words. Now, what did that do to your soles of your feet?
He had a compass, you know. So why would he go this way? He'd be more likely to go that way, wouldn't he?
Why did he go up in the first place? He started climbing, he got scared, realized that he was doing something goofy. Didn't know what to do about it and kept going. The more he went, the scared he got. The more he lost complete track of reason. And of all the silly things...
Nobody has covered this area up on the other side.
I don't know.
That I know of. Nobody, I don't think, has come down through there.
I'm going to.
Back at base camp, Mr. Sternberg talks to helicopter pilot Roland Barton about the grassy area on the far side of the Santa Paula he thinks would attract Billy.
I don't know if we're doing good. Is there any chance I can go around there and see what that looks like and maybe use the PA system?
Well, you can if you like. As I told you, the voice is just a voice. He isn't going to recognize...
Except that yours is higher, I mean a higher pitch than what... I don't know. Of course, I could...
Personally, I would prefer that we have someone on board the helicopter that's used to being...
trained observer,
used to being on board and knows what they're looking for and the relative sizes and so on, objects on the ground and for movement. I'm not trying to dissuade you of your interest or anything of this nature. I realize your point, but I think it's equally important that we have somebody that flies considerably.
Just for one voyage.
All right, we'll take you up on one of the trips. This cuts down the maneuverability of the aircraft considerably when you're working in on the face of it.
Some of the pools above the waterfall where Billy was last seen are 9 feet deep. Scuba divers who searched the pools have just returned with a report.
Happily negative. Yeah, that's the best thing about diving, is not finding them. If we find them, then the game's over. So we can tell them that they're not, at least from the punch bowls down, that boy's not in that water. Whether he's somewhere else, I don't know.
Usually the kids that are 6 and under, psychologically, they're in pretty darn good shape, even after they've been out several days. They don't go into the state of shock that the older kids do. The ones that are older seem to know that they're in very serious trouble. Quite often we'll find them in such a state of shock that when they see you, they'll run from you. They'll make no attempt. They'll hide from the helicopter. You know, kids will walk right across a busy street, 4-lane roads, cars whistling by them 55 miles an hour at 6 years of age and never even realize that they've been in trouble. Some kid around 10 years of age has to do that. And, he knows he's been a little bit exposed.
Wednesday morning. Billy has been missing nearly 90 hours. Exposure has become a critical factor. T-shirt and trousers are no protection against 4 nights of 20-mile-an-hour winds and 35 to 40-degree temperatures. This morning, the wind has been gusting upwards of 90 miles per hour. Another problem for Sergeant Bill Lindgren of the Ventura County Sheriff's Office.
Well, right now, the damn wind, as you can see, is blowing so bad we're not flying anybody anywhere. The helicopter pilot took, I don't know what, 7 or 8 loads up, and man, he lit up some of those places real goosely. And he said, I ain't going up anymore. There's too much wind. So, flying's out right now. And as long as this wind keeps up like this, why, forget it.
I'm not sure how long the sheriff's going to continue the search actively, but you guys may be working for the family, or what? If they close it down, or what would your?
Oh, well, yeah, we'll probably still be in here this weekend, Bart.
The Sierra Madre team will continue the search, but for the others, this is the final day. 90 volunteers from as near as the local town of Fillmore and as far away as San Diego are making a last desperate search of the East Fork, from canyon floor to the brush fields along the ridges. Working through one of the brush fields is a Sierra Madre crew led by Doug Templin. Doug's team is using radio number 402.
You've got to go home for tomorrow, and I do too.
This is Relay.
This?
Yes, Unit 402 has positive right foot tracks just west of where they were dropped off by the helicopter.
That's 10-4, so right foot that's missing.
Can you obtain from them a much closer location? Can they pinpoint their location for us? Over.
Can you give a more exact location of your pin 20?
For west, okay, this is the heliport he dropped them in, right? Miner, the one you cut.
Right.
Okay, in the west.
Yeah.
Well, they must be right in here. Yeah.
They say they are just west in the stream to where they were left off
they're up
by the helicopter, just west.
Here's a canyon right here, Miner. This is a canyon right here.
And that canyon's got a lot of brush on it, Bill. There.
How far north of the spot marked by Miner are you?
When do you give up searching for a lost boy? The experience of Sierra Madre says you don't. Sudden events can turn on the tiniest of clues.
Base, this is Relay. I'm going to Vincent. I'm waiting for further information.
Stream.
Base, the victim has been found. The victim has been found. I'm waiting for further information. I'll let you know.
They got in that canyon.
What's condition?
He's alive.
We got track on. She'll be on her way, baby.
They walked him into the heliport, so apparently he's in pretty good shape. So,
yeah, you might try to reach the father, too, and tell him.
Very good.
well, where are they going to take Bill then?
Take you and me both to Santa Paula.
Okay. Well, let me tell Dave, and, I thank everybody. Yes. There's Mark's saying there's a bunch of beer in the back.
As soon as we get the last man off the hill, we'll have some beer. I was looking at the map, we've covered about 100 square miles altogether.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he's in real good shape.
I don't know.
I giving him up, frankly.
We never do.
Just about it.
Well, we've had a few here that have made it the 4 days, you know. I told you, remember I told you he could be tough.
Where'd you find it?
You know where the prints were last seen?
Yeah.
Down the back canyon bottom.
You mean where the
shoe was? Where the shoe was off. We sent our crew in there and said, you know, we've been trying to find out where he broke out, and they've started up. They've been there before, and they finally found one print up high.
Yeah.
And then they got on him again, and away they went. He went out that way, south. North.
He did go north.
Yeah,
right. With a barefoot?
Yeah.
Thank everybody back there. Well, I'll be back here in a little while anyway. But express my appreciation to everybody, just as much as possibly can, please.
Yeah.
So Billy, with one bare foot, had gone up the north bank of the East Fork, directly opposite the green, grassy area Mr. Sternberg thought would attract him. Billy had to be carried to the helicopter by Doug Templin. The wind is still raging. The helicopter barely touches down. A real greeting between Billy and his father will have to wait until they get to the hospital.
I don't want any weight going on.
Okay, gonna go up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good fella. He's in real good shape, too.
I'm very glad to hear it.
Just real fine shape.
Well, we get his strength back.
Yeah, he'll be just as good as new in a couple days.
Could you have some 7-Up? Yes, you can have some 7-Up. A bottle, okay, all right, sure.
What's a whole bottle of soda?
Real fresh area in there. So did he crawl out or?
No, he was sitting here. We found his little footprint. We knew we had it because it was fresh. And then we found we found some big bear tracks right next to it. Right coming. His footprint was coming up canyon. There was a bear track that was 6 inches bigger than my hand. Right down it. We thought, oh wow. We took about another 100 yards up there. And Bill Udell turned around and said, "Hi, Billy." We all turned around, and here he was, sitting under a little tree.
"92 hours after he was reported missing, Billy Sternberg's first helicopter ride ends in the Santa Paula Hospital parking lot.
All right. You're in Santa Paula. At the hospital, and your dad's right here.
Well, your heart sounds good. You must be in pretty good shape, huh?
I am.
Good. Yeah.
The funny thing about it is that we decided, well, let's go up and check. Before we get out of that canyon, we'll go up another 100, 200 yards and see if we can jump track it. Just hustle up there. And all the way we went up there, we didn't see print one. Not one print. And there he was.
Staying on the rocks then.
Well, how does he look like to you as far as just exposure?
Well, we gave him just little tiny bits of water, and we then we let it settle down for a minute and gave him some fruit juice.
Did we get these guys
Eventually got to some fruit cocktail. We had him chew it up and swallow it. After about a half an hour of that, he started to respond, asking us questions. The first thing he said was, "How come the Boy Scouts in my troop left me?"
Get them together. So don't you step start. What about this? Going home. Are you going home now?
Santa Paula Doral Station. Report on rescue.
Shut up and check in. You gotta check in before you have a beer now.
Boy found by Sierra Madre Rescue Team, crew number 402. Taken by LA County Fire Department helicopter to Santa Paula Hospital.
Man, I could hear your voice. I knew.
Oh, I'll tell you, I had that thing sitting there.
And then when the relay, he about fell off the mountain.
Boy in good condition was found on East Fork, north side, west of Cienega Campground.
Got to the top of the canyon. And there he was sitting. Big as it's a big tree.
All personnel are out of area. KMB 552.
Back.